Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's a Monday. It's the 11th of April. We got a lot of cool stuff going on today. We'll get to that in a bit. But first, it is now official. In March, the temperature in Alaska went above 70 degrees for the first time in history, Heidi. So, there, it wasn't necessarily hot everywhere, but it was there at least. I know there are some places where it was awfully cold. Mm-hmm. A survey of cell phone users found that almost 9 in 10 say they encounter others using cell phones in annoying ways, but only 8% thought that their use of a cell phone was annoying. So 9 in 10 thought others are rude, only 8% thought they were rude. So that's kind of an interesting...
Kind of the way it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Coming up later in the program, going to be visiting with Bill Wooditch. He's the CEO of AlwaysForward. That is coming your way in a short while, right here on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, April the 11th. It is Barbershop Quartet Day.
Oh.
Or I'd like to sing that. Barbershop Quartet Day. Come on, guys. Where were you on that one? Oh, wait, there's nobody else here. Education and Sharing Day, International Louie Day, International Tabletop Day, National Pet Day. So if you got a pet, today's a good day to celebrate. National Teach Children to Save Day. When I first saw that, I thought it was Teach Children to Shave Day.
That is a good day, though. Teach children to save. That's a very good thing. Later
this week, on the 14th, which is this Thursday, we're going to be visiting with Jeannie Glista with a book called How to Turn $100 into $1 Million. I'm excited. I've been reading this book. It's really geared towards 10-year-olds, but I've been loving it. So again, today is National Teach Children to Save Day. It is also Submarine Day and World Parkinson's Disease Day. So all of those different things going on today. Thanks for listening on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. A surge in the number of people buying adult coloring books has threatened pencil stock worldwide. Manufacturers of colored pencils are struggling to cope with an increased demand for colored pencils. The world's biggest wooden pencil manufacturer is a company called Faber-Castell. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
I've seen them on pencils. We probably have one here that's got their name on it. They're the world's biggest. They say they are experiencing, and I quote, double-digit growth.
That's amazing. Good for them. That's awesome.
In the sale of artists' pencils, and they've been forced to run more shifts in their Germany factory to just keep up with the demand that they've had.
That's great. I think that's wonderful.
That is cool. Now, I have not gotten on board with the adult coloring book business. Funny thing is, when I first heard of adult coloring books, I thought it was naughty coloring books. I was like, what? Why would they do that?
There is one of those that I would like to have. It's like naughty words mixed around flowers and stuff. I am going to buy that.
I just thought when I first heard, hey, that now they're selling adult coloring books, and I was talking to somebody that does them, I was like, why would they? Who would want that? And then when I saw what they were, I'm like, oh, I see. It's just for adults.
Difficult pictures. Yeah.
It's not like adult. I see now. Never mind. So apparently my brain was in the gutter that day. Something that I thought was really funny. This has nothing to do with coloring books. But the other day, my beautiful bride over here decided she was going to put a puzzle together. How did this whole thing get started with the puzzle?
It was in our son's Easter basket. I bought it for him for Easter.
He's 19, by the way.
Star Wars puzzle.
Yeah, Star Wars puzzle for our 19-year-old son. Did he open it or did you open it? Because I hadn't seen him.
He brought it down, and him and Taylor were going to put it together.
Okay, so I would say I didn't even see the kids doing this. I saw Heidi working on this puzzle For what, 4 days?
It was really difficult, actually.
So I wanted to watch a movie the other day. I was like, hey, come and watch a movie. She says, I'm working on this puzzle. So I finally said, that's it. I'm going to come in and help. So now we had a team of 3, our 19-year-old son, I'm not going to say our ages, but we're adults, working on this puzzle. And it was tough. And finally, after about 45 minutes of this, I look at the box and it says, for ages 9 and up. I was like, what? What 9-year-old can do
Why are we
this?
struggling with this 9-year-old puzzle?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
We did get it finished.
we did. It looks beautiful. You guys did a good job. Anyway, again, for those of you that are into the adult coloring books, just to let you know, you're not alone. There's a lot of people doing that. So much so that they can't keep up with colored pencils. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A beer drinker is suing Anheuser-Busch. Guess why, Heidi?
Why?
For making it appear as though their Leffe beer, L-E-F-F-E, am I saying that right? Leffe or Leffe?
I don't know.
Whatever. I've never seen that. Anyway, making it appear as though Leffe beer is being made by monks in an abbey. There's a picture of a monk on the label, and he said, I thought this beer was being made by monks. That's why I'm drinking this beer. I find out it's just being brewed by a
Why
bunch
would
of
anybody
brewers.
drink a beer just because they thought it was made by monks?
Ask
And
this
every
guy.
time you see a picture, you just assume that is exactly what's going on.
All I
with
know
this.
is I'm going to pay.
Does he really think the Keebler cookies are made by elves in
you
a tree?
just ruined my joke, Heidi.
Is that what you're going to say?
I was going to say I'm hanging on this case. I'm watching it very closely because if he wins, I'm going against Keebler because I found out that the elves don't make those things.
It's ridiculous. He's not going to win that.
Well,
That's
I guess
ridiculous.
we'll see. That's the kind of thing that happens, though, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Got your moment of duh for you here. And every day, the moment of duh has somebody doing something dumb. Now, I don't know, honestly, if I could say this guy's doing something dumb, or maybe he's just a little too passionate about something. I have to admit first, I've never seen a single episode of The Walking Dead. Have you?
No.
I've seen commercials for it, but I've never seen it.
I'm sure I'd like it.
And I've heard a lot of people that love it. So if you love it, maybe you will say, John, this guy's not dumb. This guy's a genius. But fans of The Walking Dead want to know who died at the end of Season 6. One fan is so upset about the whole cliffhanger thing that he started a Change.org petition. Yeah. This guy is from New Zealand. He wants AMC to reveal who died with a special episode or a webisode. But he said, hey, you can't leave us hanging like that. That's wrong. So he's
You'll
online.
find it out next season.
I don't know. Did they get canceled or what happened? Why is it that he's so worried about this?
Because they have to wait till next season when it starts.
I don't know. All I know is fans are up in arms, and the Walking Dead characters
It's been
are
good for
losing
The Walking
arms,
Dead because they're
yeah.
getting lots of exposure, and
There
I'm
you
sure
go.
a lot of other people will be watching it.
Now, if you didn't know about this petition, you can go on and fill it out too. It's at change.org, and I'm sure this guy would appreciate it. I don't know how many people are on. I haven't looked. Wouldn't it be funny if there's like 4? I'm sure it's more than that because people are worked up about this. Coming up, we've got your Scoop of the Day.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your Scoop of the Day. We'll start at Manchester, Connecticut. Police there arrested 2 people after an argument at a buffet got out of hand. Police say an argument over crab legs at a buffet escalated into a physical confrontation, and one suspect lost a tooth. This all happened at a buffet over crab legs.
Wow.
All right, no film sequel has been more confirmed and reconfirmed than Top Gun 2. It's got to be part of their marketing plan, apparently, but producer Jerry Bruckheimer again confirmed that Tom Cruise again will return again for the follow-up of the 1986 Top Gun in Top Gun 2. Back in January, he confirmed that the movie is they're working on it, and he confirmed back then that Cruise will return. Then he tweeted it, and last year he stated in an interview that plans were in motion and Cruise is on board. So what is the deal with him continually confirming
He's
and
apparently not
reconfirming?
getting as much excitement about it as he thought he was going to. So
Did
he
you know
thinks that
about it until
nobody
I just
heard-
mentioned it?
No, and I really don't care. I didn't. I mean,
I've got a need
I know I'm a
for
girl
speed,
from
Heidi.
the 80s, and I was supposed to absolutely love that movie, but I really did not
That wasn't
love
yours?
that movie.
Come
no.
on, Goose.
I
Don't
mean,
do
I
this
saw
to
it.
me.
I saw it several times, actually,
Okay.
but I
Well, it's a good
didn't
movie.
love it.
Good soundtrack.
And
too.
I won't go to the
You won't?
sequel. No.
I probably will. I'll
No.
go with. I bet our son will go with that with me today.
I bet he wouldn't,
A
because I rented him the first one. He wouldn't even watch it.
Are
He
you
watched
kidding
like
me?
10 minutes of it. He goes, this is stupid.
Oh, man. Boy's grounded. Astronomers at Columbia University say they have devised a way to hide our planet from hostile aliens. So this is what's going on at Columbia
my
University. They're saying, what happens if aliens come here? And they've come up with a plan. They say, we will cloak our planet
Oh
using
my
giant
gosh.
lasers. That's better than the first plan, which was just, everybody turn your lights off and pretend like you're not home. And then if that doesn't work, we'll use giant lasers to cloak our planet.
That's
This-
ridiculous.
This happened in Paris, Texas. A nurse is a little upset after he made a late-night Domino's pizza order and received a handwritten message on the box. The note said, we would appreciate it very much if you didn't wait until 5 minutes closed to order.
Ooh.
The nurse admits that, yeah, he placed the order 5 minutes before the store closed at midnight, but it was before they closed. If you want to quit taking orders at a certain time, quit taking orders, saying, sorry, we're all done taking orders. But I don't think that was right.
I hope
I
he
would be
didn't-
afraid to
I
eat
hope
the
he
pizza.
didn't tip very well.
I'm telling you, I would be afraid to eat a pizza if
Yeah.
somebody was going to, go out of the way to write a note like that. Now, I used to work at a grocery store that was open till 10. If somebody walked in at 9:59, we'd stay open till 10:30. Didn't matter, however long. And there were people who would come in after we closed. That's called customer service. It's not a
Yes.
bad thing.
Right.
A 30-year-old Florida man took off all of his clothes at a sheriff's substation after being charged with a domestic crime. There's nothing in the report indicating that he was on any sort of drug or alcoholic beverage. It was just a 30-year-old man in a police station, sheriff's substation, I should say. After he was being charged, he just started stripping down for no particular reason. I'm not exactly sure why you would do that, unless you are under the influence of something. Maybe he was just under the influence of being dumb. I don't know. Could be. Hey, a guy in New York State was charged with burglary after he walked into another man's home, started cooking pork chops, and used his bathroom.
Oh my gosh. Was he just drunk and wandered into
don't
the
know.
wrong place?
My question is, did he bring the pork chops or were they there? Was this premeditated? Was this a premeditated pork chop maneuver or what happened here?
Huh.
Now, this is a very funny story, and this will be our final story for the Scoop of the Day. In Japan, a man found an unlocked door at a university building and thought, hey, perfect opportunity to burglarize this place. So he entered into the dark room and switched on the lights and found himself face-to-face with a huge sumo wrestler. As he turned around to run, he bumped into another and another. There were 12 sumo wrestlers. He tried to rob a sumo dormitory. They had no problem holding him down until the police arrived. Again, that happened in Japan. So I can only imagine how awesome just think of for the rest of their lives, the stories that they get to tell about. Some dude tried to rob our dorm. We flattened him.
First of all, how funny is it there's such a thing as a sumo wrestler dormitory?
That is funny.
Can you imagine their grocery bill?
I bet, yeah. I just looked and I accidentally deleted my strange law. So I have no strange law, but this has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us right now. I'm really excited to chat with Bill Wooditch. Bill is an author, and he's got a book that we're going to be chatting about here in a bit. But we're going to be talking about, is this year the year that you become the CEO of your life? It's a good idea to do that. Bill, how are you doing today, sir?
Great, John, and thank you very much for having me on your show.
Well, we're really glad to have you on the program. Now, when you start thinking about being the CEO of your life, what does that mean exactly?
Well, John, to me, that means we take charge and take responsibility and accountability for our life, because we're really building the franchise of us. And I think that's very important that we take that personal responsibility and we work on ourselves in those, what I call 4 pillars that are the intellectual part, growing our knowledge base and having a curiosity with other people, an emotional care that we can extend, and the most important spiritual overarching part that anchors us from our values to others, where we know the difference between right and wrong. And then moving beyond to the physical, making sure the intellectual is in alignment, spiritual and emotional pillars. So I think that's all part of building the franchise of us, and I think that's where it starts.
So let's talk about the 4 pillars. How do each one of these play a role in our lives and our careers as we're putting those into practice?
Well, I think to grow our career, and I think that business is simply a subset of life. There's no 2 separate disciplines. And I think if we look at that as one and the same, how would we further our business interests? Well, we would learn. We'd go on a quest. We'd go on a quest to learn, and what resonates or what can be of value, we could apply. Same thing if we're sitting across the dinner table with our family. How can we have a talk? How can we grow intellectual curiosity? How can we keep furthering each other's interests? And they might be dissimilar, they may be similar, but at least we can talk. And I think communication is first and foremost the essence of a quality relationship. And let's move to the next pillar. And I want you to think of these pillars just like a house. And I think they have to be in alignment, congruent, and growing together for us to not fracture. So I think the next pillar we could look at, in no order of sequential importance, but I think would be the physical one. So are we taking care of our body? Are we feeding, as we feed our mind, quality information, and as we go on that quest, are we feeding our body good nutrients? Are we taking care of our body so our body can cash the checks that our mind writes? Are we going to be physically congruent with our thought? So I think those 2 support each other. And I also think that the emotional part, extending emotional care, I think that a man needs to be admired, and I think a woman needs to be cherished. And I think the same goes in our business constructs. When we start treating people as people, not concepts or not something we want to sell or some product we have to push, I think it opens up the world to us. And I think that they're going to feel the energy from our pillars. And I think the emotional pillar is that one energy that people buy from people. They want to be with people they like, people that are like them, or people they think they want to be like. And then I move into the spiritual part. And I think that if we look at those 4 pillars, or just picture these, John, and inside, it's going to house the most unique and important qualities of values, where our values are similar or shared. I think we're in alignment. Where they're different, it's tough to have a business relationship with someone who doesn't have ethics, someone who doesn't have the same values and belief system you have. And I think it's the same with your family. I think that we can grow, because we're going to grow apart at times and then grow together, if our values are similar. And we have a strong belief in what's right and wrong, and an overarching belief in something greater than the 2 or the 100 or 200 of us, something greater. That is the key to the 4 pillars.
Again, visiting right now with Bill Wooditch. He's the author of a book called Always Forward. We're going to chat about where you can find that, and something that's kind of cool that he's doing, where some of the proceeds to that go. But speaking about those 4 pillars, what happens if the 4 pillars are not in alignment? You were saying it's important that they're all in alignment. What happens if they're not?
Well, I'm in Southern California, and I grew up on the East Coast, but now I'm in the West Coast. I had to learn something out here that houses subside or fracture when they're not only out of alignment, but there's a fissure that's caused by certain defects which make the pillars come out of alignment. So the foundation can be out of alignment. It's the same in our lives. I think we work with a certain kind of people are generally unhappy when their pillars aren't in alignment, because there's a fracture. They're not acting in concert with the authentic, true you, the true them. They're acting in a way that they think that the external wants them to behave, or they're duplicitous in their dealings, and maybe they're not forthright in certain things. And so there's kind of that, almost like a cancer that grows inside, because they're not in alignment with those pillars. And I think it comes across. Other people people aren't stupid. they can feel it first and foremost, and then they can experience it and get it. And I think when we're acting in concert with who we really are, not what or who society wants us to be, and we're acting in concert with who we are as the quality of person that we are, I think we attract others that are like, kind, and quality.
So what are some things we can do? We're talking about the pillars right now and becoming the CEO of our own life. What are some of the things we can do to help find happiness in our lives?
Well, I think that the one thing that I think people do, that I see people do, is that we search for it. We search for purpose, we search for passion, and we search for happiness. And I think happiness ensues, purpose ensues, and passion is felt when we're actually immersed in something that we feel, that we can really, we're compelled to do, where it's an obligation that comes deep from within. And I think that we can find sources of happiness when we stop looking for it, A, and B, when we get rid of, John, the impediments, the obstacles that prevent its very existence. And a lot of that is debt load. A lot of that is putting ourselves deeper in debt, and that's an impediment to actually being able to feel and have a life that we can move forward without the worry that comes from the impediment and the obstacle. I think that's one major way. And I think if we surround ourselves or we attract people into our universe who share our values, that's another way of happiness. And if we have that gene to contribute to the welfare of others, I think that's another bounce for some people where they find happiness. So I think happiness is one of those things that it's more of a global way of life than it is joy, where joy could be the short-term, short-lived expression of, hey, it's my birthday, great, until you get to my age and it's not really so great. But you have a little joy from a gift or a joy from doing something, but it's a bounce, and I think happiness is more of a way of life, and it's something that has its ups and downs, but overall, happy people get rid of the impediments and the obstacles that prevent it.
Again, visiting right now with Bill Wooditch. He's the author of Always Forward. Where can I find a copy of the book, Bill?
Well, there's a number of places, but I would go to Amazon.com. We're a bestseller on Amazon and Kindle, and it's also in Barnes & Noble. But on Barnes & Noble, you can also go to BillWooditch.com, and that's WOODITCH, BillWooditch.com. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can always go Always Forward at Wooditch.com.
Very nice. Now, something I think is really neat, proceeds from the book are being donated to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. Thank you for doing that, but why did you choose to do that? Why is that an important thing for you?
You know, we talk about something that's internal. We talk about the internal obligation, that compelling pull. And I had a feel that I wanted to contribute in some way, in some small way. And I thought the one way I can contribute is my heart goes out to those heroes, to those people who expend their blood, the treasure on our behalf. And I think that was one way to contribute to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, to find a place where most of the proceeds are actually placed in the hands of the veterans, the families, the people that need that. And I feel great about doing it. The book is in different platforms. It's on CD. It's in hard copy, and all the proceeds from every part of those platforms go to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. I feel really great about that.
That is really a cool thing. So thank you so much for doing that, and thank you for taking time to chat with me today.
Hey, you're great. Thank you, John.
And again, Bill Wooditch is the guest we had today, the author of the book Always Forward. If you'd like to know more, I'll give you his website one more time, BillWooditch.com. And it's a lot easier than you might think. It's Bill, of course, B-I-L-L, but then Wooditch is Wood, WOODITCH.com. Check that out and get a copy of the book, and also help out with that Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The largest hailstone ever recorded was 17.5 inches in diameter. That is bigger than a basketball.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The only rock that floats in water is pumice. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The United States government keeps its supply of silver at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in New York. So if you're wondering where their silver is, now you know. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Seawater is loaded with mineral salts, and it weighs about 1.5 pounds more per cubic foot than fresh water. So if you ever get the question, what weighs more, seawater or freshwater, the answer, seawater. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Speaking of salt, 10% of the salt mined in the world every year is used to de-ice the roads in America. So we use 10% of the world's salt just to get the ice off our roads. There you go. That's a fun fact for you. Then thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know The John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that'll help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. We appreciate you tuning in. I got a story here from Terre Haute, Indiana. I know some people that live there. Terre Haute. I've never been there. I have to go sometime. But here's the story of a couple of teenagers who were going door to door offering to shovel snow off sidewalks this winter. They eventually came to the home of retired school teacher Eileen Prose, who was not home. The door was unlocked, and the culprits decided to go inside and nose around, looking for anything they might want. Not a good idea. About that time, Mrs. Prose returned home, saw the two shovels standing outside the front door, slightly ajar, still front door, and quickly figured out what was going on. First, she used her cell phone to call the police. Then, as she approached the house, the teenagers came walking out. Using her best school teacher voice, she said, "You boys are going to stay right there until the police come here." Our less than intelligent heroes must have had some sort of grade school flashback, because that's exactly what they did. They followed the teacher's instructions. They waited quietly until the police arrived and arrested them. So in the beginning of that story, I was so happy that these boys were going door to door, shoveling snow and doing something nice. Middle of the story, you find out they're knuckleheads. They're trying to break into somebody's house. Then you find out that, hey, you know what? At least they weren't knuckleheads that did something violent to the lady when they got caught. So kind of a range of emotions on those boys. But I think that's a bad idea to burglarize anything. Don't steal something.
Of course it's a bad idea.
I'm just saying, if you want something, people, work for it. That's what you do. And they were already going out shoveling sidewalks. I don't know. Interesting. Almost as interesting as a story we have coming up about a monster in a river. Maybe. We'll tell you all about this coming up in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. I've got a bizarre video that was sent to me. This is from YouTube that shows a strange object of some kind in the Thames River. The video uploader wonders if there are whales in the UK River, or if it's a submarine. Many are simply calling it now the Thames River Monster. The creature appears to have two humps. I've got the video on our Facebook page. I put it there when I got this on Friday. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Did you see the video at all yet, Heidi?
No.
I'll play it for you here just so you can see. And it doesn't have... the video isn't the greatest video, but you can see there's an object of some sort going through the water, and it does appear to have, some humps. But I would not say that it's a creature. There are several that thought it was a submarine, and I think that maybe that's what it is too. So, again, if you'd like to see the video, this is so exciting on the radio, isn't it? Showing videos
See this
on the
video?
Check that out. No, it doesn't work so hot. But, again, I do have the video on Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show, and you can make up your mind for yourself. Thanks for listening on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
Jim Trenter was fed up with the mice chomping onto the grass seed bags at his St. Paul, Minnesota warehouse. Then he heard about a new program called Working Cats Program at the Humane Society. So he adopted a couple of these felines. Now they live and work at the warehouse, which is mouse-free, incidentally, since they've been there. Trenter calls the cats the, quote, best employees I've ever had, end quote. Funny thing is, there are some cats that now live at one of our transmitter buildings. There was a guy that brought some cats out. He lives right out there, too, and he said, you mind if these cats run around? I was like, I don't care. But he had an issue with a bunch of mice getting in his stuff, and I've noticed no more mice.
Nice.
So those cats are pretty well fed. There was a story about a guy. I'll have to tell this some other time. Maybe we'll get to it later. But about a guy that was doing a funny little prank on the radio years ago about a cat. It was kind of naughty, but it was also kind of funny. Coming up, we've got a story from Toronto that's a pretty interesting story. Can't wait to hear Heidi's side on this. It'll be fun.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
I think it'll be interesting to see your point of view on this.
Okay.
Because this is from a mother. So you're a mother.
Yes.
A 23-year-old Toronto student living at home with his mother just got schooled about failing to give his mother the respect she deserves.
Okay.
After the two got into a bit of an argument that both sides agreed stemmed from a misunderstanding, the mother decided to show him how much it's worth living there. She drew up a bill for $39,254, charging him only a fraction of the ways that she has supported her son since he moved back into the home 13 months ago. You can actually see the invoice and everything on our Facebook page. I've got a copy of the whole thing, but it's not like she's really charging him. She's just saying, hey, I want you to see the value in what I'm doing for you.
Right.
Again, this kid is 23. You know, he moved out, and then he came back home 13 months ago. It's called a boomerang, and there's a lot of kids that do that these days.
Well, honestly,
It's expensive to live
it
out
is
there.
expensive right now. It really is. Everything has gone up except for the value of the dollar. So it's hard to make ends meet.
So do you think that this kid getting a bill for $39,254 might appreciate what his
I
mom
would
is
sure
doing?
hope so. I would
know?
sure hope so.
So we'll have to see. I wonder how much, what could we say it's worth living at our house? When you add in, because it's almost like dinner theater if you hang out. That's got to be worth something, right?
It's got to be worth something.
Give our son an invoice. Hey, look at this. $8 million. That's what it's worth staying there. No, probably not. Anyway, this again happened in Toronto. If you'd like to see the invoice and learn more, I'll throw a link at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is kind of interesting stuff. Technology just gets more amazing by the day, doesn't it?
Yes.
Facebook has introduced a new feature about a week ago that will allow people with visual impairments to hear descriptions of photos.
Oh.
This is aiming to make the company's social media apps more useful and accessible. Time magazine tells us that the feature, called the Automatic Alternative Text, uses object recognition technology to describe a photo, listing the items and the people and the scenery that might be contained in the photo. Previously, Facebook said someone using a screen reader could only hear the name of a person and that person had shared a photo. Now they can hear from this what is included in the image. Now, we have a dear friend that is visually impaired, and he uses a screen reader. He and I were talking about that one time, and he called in. He's a listener of the station. We were chatting, and he said something about the images on our website. And he said there's a way for us to encode them with certain things, and it'll say what they are on a screen reader. Huh. And I'd never heard of that before. I was like, I don't know. I'll have to check into that. I don't know how any of that stuff works. But now Facebook is saying, hey, you know what? Facebook is for everybody. We want this to be something for everyone. So even if you are someone who can't see, if you've got a screen reader that tells you what people are saying, now it can also tell you what's going on in the photos.
That's fascinating.
I'd like to see how it describes some of the stuff that you post.
So would I, actually.
Heidi posted a meme, and I'm not going to tell you what it says because it's naughty. There's a reason I don't have you as the administrator on our page. Just saying. I'm going to share that link if you'd like to know more. I'll put it right on our Facebook page, which is easy to find. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Monday. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. If you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
And right now, your bonus break. Usually when you have fortune cookies, they're supposed to be like bright, happy, cheerful things that are coming, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that didn't quite happen for at least this one person. I know I've gotten some that I was like, yeah, it was kind of a dumb fortune. Anyway, fortune cookies proved to be the undoing for a 30-year-old Terrence Middleton. He was arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma for breaking into 2 Chinese restaurants. Police responded to a burglar alarm. They found Terrence had just over $20 in coins because people don't spend money anymore. It's all on debit cards. Anyway, that's all that was in there were coins and a bunch of fortune cookies. Hope it was worth it. He got to go to jail. So let me read your fortune. You will be going to jail very soon.
Serves him right.
Yeah. 3 men forced their way into the principal's office at a middle school in Johannesburg, South Africa, wielding a gun. They proceeded to have the headmaster and 2 secretaries put all of their jewelry and money and contents from the school safe into a black briefcase. Then when they turned to flee, one of the robbers grabbed the wrong briefcase, escaping with the principal's bag stuffed with homework. When they got to their destination, they realized that, wait, we didn't even get the jewelry or the money or nothing. We got a bunch of homework. And our final story here. Police in Spokane responded to a report of a burglary last week. One of the residents said the man entered the house after forcing open the back door. She said the man wandered into the living room where there was another woman and a child sleeping, and he took off his shoes. After several minutes, the man left, leaving his shoes on the floor. While police were talking with the victim, the man showed up. A woman drove up to the house with a man in the vehicle. He walked up and said, "Hey, can I get my shoes back?"
Wow.
He told police he was confused about the home. He went thinking he was going to this friend's home, went into that one, realized there were people sleeping, and left. They still booked him for residential burglary. So he must have taken something with him other than his shoes because he came back for those.
Huh.
That's going to do it for your bonus break, brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you've got funds earning less than 6%, you need a better system. Knowles Systems would love to help you. Check out a commercial mortgage bridge loan. They earn 6 to 8%. Could be just what you're looking for to get that money working for you. All of the details can be found at commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.